Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy. We're back with some more NFL DFS picks and lineup advice for tonight's single game showdown slate on FanDuel and DraftKings between the Giants and the Eagles. In this video, we're going to look at some top plays for both FanDuel and DraftKings, talk about lineup strategies for both low risk and high risk contests, hit on some projected ownership, and just some general lineup tips to help you be profitable. Before we get started, though, go ahead and click that subscribe button below. That way you get notified when all of our latest videos are released here on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. The more thumbs ups we get, the more likely we are to create these types of videos. Any questions you have about this slate, hop in the comments below and we'll answer them before the slate locks Thursday night. Now, the slate is super interesting on both sites, FanDuel and DraftKings. The pricing is so much different depending on where you play. And we'll get there in a second. Before we talk about lineup strategies, let's talk about the injuries for tonight's slate. High level look, Miles Sanders is out for the Eagles, and Boston Scott and Corey Clement will be the two running backs taking his place. Zach Ertz, let's see if we can find him here. He is out for the Eagles. Backup Dallas Goedert is still on IR, which means Richard Rodgers, let's see if we can find him. He'll be the starting tight end for the Eagles tonight. Deshaun Jackson is making his way back. So let's see if we can find Deshaun Jackson on here. Making his way back. He's missed the last 3 games. He'll play tonight for the Eagles and be a top 1 or 2 receiver for them. Alshon Jeffrey still remains out for Philadelphia. On the Giants side, the biggest thing we need to look for is Sterling Shepard. He's on the injured reserve. He practiced Tuesday and Wednesday, and they would need to make a determination by 4 p.m. on Thursday if they're going to activate him for the game. We lean towards him not playing, or if he does play, being limited, which means he's probably unplayable at his price. But if he's not active, it just means more solidified outlook for their number 1, Darius Slayton, for Golden Tate, and then their number 3 receiver who played 75% of the snaps last week, Austin Mack, $400 on DraftKings. So someone to keep in mind too if Sterling Shepard is indeed out. All right, let's talk about low-risk contests. These are your 50-50s, your double-ups, head-to-heads, where half the field wins the same amount of money. They double their money. And if you've read our Showdown Guide ebook, which is 15 chapters of back-tested research and data on how to win Showdown contests on FanDuel and DraftKings, you know that our preferred approach in low-risk contests is to try to fit in both quarterbacks and both starting running backs in an attempt to lock up all the touchdown scoring on the slate. This theory, if we get all of the touchdowns, it's very likely we finish in the top half of our contest. So tonight, because of the pricing, it is incredibly easy to do this. So if we just start with Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, Boston Scott, Devonta Freeman, who is the unquestioned number 1 running back now for the Giants, that leaves us $6,500 left per player if we don't use them in the captain spot. If we switch and we put Carson Wentz in the captain spot, $3,800 left per player. Plenty of cheaper options or kickers or defenses we can use to fill this out. It's really, really easy. FanDuel, normally it's harder there. Guess what? It's even easier tonight because look at this. With Miles Sanders out, Boston Scott will be the lead running back. And let's see if we can find Boston Scott in the FanDuel player pool. Oh yeah, there he is at $6,500. Remember, minimum price here is $5,000. So while most running backs are priced in the $11,000 to $14,000 range, Boston Scott is $6,500. Yes, $6,500. So if we fit Wentz, Daniel Jones, Devonta Freeman, and we scroll all the way down to Boston Scott, that leaves us $12,500 left per player, which is like $7,000 more than we're normally able to use if we fit in both running backs and quarterbacks. And now we can fit our favorite remaining player into this low-risk lineup. Super easy approach tonight. The fun part comes with high-risk contests. Now in FanDuel, we expect Carson Wentz to be the most popular MVP. And the nice thing is, you can fit him with a couple of his pass catchers and save salary. Remember, in your 100-player leagues, your large GPPs, it's a sliding scale of how much salary you want to use to be unique on FanDuel. So if you're playing a really large contest, you can leave a ton of salary left over tonight and use some of his cheaper options. I mean, Richard Rodgers is, let's find Rodgers. He's their starting tight end tonight. He's $6,500. Corey Clement is their number 2 running back. He's literally min price at $5,000. Deshaun Jackson, who's coming back from injury, he's $8,000. Jason Kroom, their number 2 tight end, he's minimum price. So you can use Carson Wentz at MVP, use 2 of his pass catchers, save a ton of salary, and likely have a unique lineup. Or the alternatives are you can go Daniel Jones, who's the underdog and will be less popular than Carson Wentz. Fit in a couple of his pass catchers. Let's say if Sterling Shepard's out, we want to get unique. Austin Max 5,500. Very easy here. I think my preferred option, though, is while everyone knows Boston Scott is a value, it's going to be very tough for the average player, especially on FanDuel, where quarterbacks reign supreme, to fit Boston Scott in your MVP spot. Most people aren't going to do this at 6,500. They're naturally going to play a higher salary player. As a result, Boston Scott's going to go way under owned. If he was appropriately priced, he would be 15 to 20% MVP usage. He's going to be way less than that tonight. So I really like starting with Boston Scott, saving salary, and because he's at least a top 3 scorer on the slate, more than likely on FanDuel, and based on his ownership projections versus his probability, incredible leverage to use him regardless of which contest type you play or however big your contest is on FanDuel. Now, if we go over to DraftKings, they made it a little bit tougher on us. We can't just fit in all the players we want. But the same concepts apply. Carson Wentz, we can easily fit him in. Let's put him at MVP. If we put Carson Wentz at the captain, we want 2 of his pass catchers with him, we could fit a lot of these cheaper guys like Jason Crooms, $200. Hightower, who's going to be the number 3/4 receiver tonight, he's only $1,200. Who else we got here? Quez Watkins might get some run. He's $200. So lots of different guys you could play in addition to Carson Wentz. Same thing with Daniel Jones. And then same thing with Boston Scott and Devonta Freeman. Now, it's a low total game. Generally, we want to get running backs in our captain spots on DraftKings in low total games. So we could do Boston Scott, who's cheap. Devonta Freeman's super cheap for his role. He may get the most touches on the slate at the running back, and he's one of the cheapest, or at least cheaper than Boston Scott. That leaves us a lot of options as well. Or if you're playing a really large contest and you're getting crazy, you could also do Corey Clement, who is the number 2 running back, but could conceivably see goal line work tonight. And that leaves you a lot of different options too. So it's an interesting slate. So many options to think about. So much game theory with the amount of salary you're going to use. And because players are so cheap, the field is going to use less salary than normal. So if we're trying to get unique and really large contests, we probably have to use even less salary than we normally do. So something to think about. I'm going to outline all of the strategies in our daily plug, occupyfantasy.com. Write up every single player and let you know what my preferred thoughts are on how to approach this slate. This is just a high-level overview for this video, but the full detailed strategy and plan will be in the daily plug, occupyfantasy.com. Our Occupy model is up and running, ranks every player, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Also has projected ownership for both sites for flex, captain, and MVP spots. And then, of course, you can read our captain spot, Showdown strategy guide ebook, 15 chapters. All these links are in the description below, so you can go check those out, occupyfantasy.com. Again, I ask you to subscribe. Click the button below to get notified when our videos are released. Give us a thumbs up. And then again, any questions you have, we're happy to answer them. You can either hop in our Discord channel where all of our members are chatting it up, or you can just comment below and we'll answer them before 8 o'clock tonight. So, Brian Jester for Occupy Fantasy. Appreciate you listening. Good luck tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.